Hello everybody, here we are in, what is this, July 15th, and it's a very humid July 15th, and well, the sun just popped out. It's okay, it's been a pretty moderate summer, I think, for New England. It hasn't been too excessively hot, but hey, can't complain about that. Certainly not Colorado weather, but it's okay. I'm getting kind of broken into the humidity again. Okay, so this is my first installment on my Stuka from Monogram. Now, I had started this build in Colorado, and then I started working on it when I returned to New England. I made a video over the winter, but I didn't like it, so I'm just going to start from scratch. So yeah, it's a Monogram build, as you've seen on my summer update. It's dated 1983, probably with some 1968 sprue and molding. So it's an old kit, but old kits are good kits, I think. And this is actually a nice build. I have a lot of good things to say about it. Yeah, so what do we have so far? I have this. Yeah, I hope you can see it. I've been doing a lot of work on it. So let's see, let's talk about the cockpit. Not much to it, it's very general, very basic. So I've decided to not go into detail with it. I don't have time and don't have the resources to make it a super cockpit, because it's cool, because the Canopy you have the option of making it closed or open. So for all of you out there that want to do some extra detailing or go into scratch building or try out scratch building, this is a recommendable model. So I'll just have the Canopy closed, and I did some basic painting of the inside cockpit. Just got put in the instrument panel. Still working on some of the detail. Yeah, so what kind of Stuka is this thing? The cover says it's a JU87D. Well, then I went through my reference book. Let's put this thing down here. I've been using the Squadron book here, which I picked up for not too much of a price tag. I think I got it at a model show, so it only cost a few dollars. I know on eBay they do go up a little higher, maybe $15. But I think if you look hard enough, you can get them at a pretty decent price. But it's a good reference book. It's got plenty of pictures, plenty of color stuff. I mean, this is really cool. This is like eye candy. And all of their books have the color plates. So that's pretty neat. So using this book, I found out that the D's, there are several versions of them. So this model kit, they modeled after a D5 or a D7. You can make it into both. I'm actually making it into a D5. But it comes with the for the exhaust thingies, they got the flame dampeners, those tubes that you might see. So you can make it into a JU87D7 if you wish, as a night fighter. So that's kind of neat. It's always neat to look at the history, because these model kits, especially the older ones, the companies, they took pictures of a actual vehicle and then they modeled it, made their designs on that. So it's interesting, because sometimes if that particular vehicle that they took pictures of had some unique features, they would even add the model features themselves. I always think back to the Tamiya German half-track, the 251C. It's got the water jug between the seats of the driver and the radio operator, and not all of those half-tracks had the water jug. The ambulance ones did, so I'm wondering if they had used an ambulance version for that, because I don't believe all the half-tracks had the water tank installed, at least based on what books I've read. So there's a little piece of trivial information on model building. Sorry, I'm flipping back. I have my little outline. I'm trying to at least have all my thoughts put down. Here we got the decals. Again, 1983 decals. I ended up folding this by accident. It's got a nice crease. I'm not too sure if these will work or not. I'll give them a try. If they don't, I'll just pick up some aftermarket stuff kicking around. Not a big deal. The instructions are pretty basic right here. Monogram instructions. It builds, it falls apart nicely, which is a good thing. Certainly it's more comfortable building something that all comes together as opposed to my my Geschäftswagen, which has been a journey. So it's nice to build kits that are very simple. Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I may use, for the camo schemes, I may use, just borrow the design that's posted on the back when I get to that point. Yeah, so let's talk about the model. Is it a filler queen? You know, are you going to be sitting there spending years and years filling? Yes and no. I feel that this hasn't been that bad for filling. Especially the fuselage and the wings are typical of any airplane kit. I would even go as far to say that it's been pretty mild, pretty moderate, not a lot of filling. The only things I did on the fuselage, I just filled in these two divots. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. The actual Stuka does have these squares, but the molding didn't come out well, so I just decided to take the easy route, and I just filled it with some milliput, sanded it, and there it is, done. Don't want to worry about it. The bombs kind of weren't that great. A lot of filling. The fins didn't quite. There were a lot of gaps, so I just kind of filled it up with some putty, smoothed it out, and a little bit more sanding to go. So that's not too bad. Yeah, and that's about it. Yeah, so let's talk about what else have I done? The canopy. Yeah, the canopies are nice. I've already dry fitted them on. I like them because the actual the cage or the metal parts of the canopy, they have really nice molding, and there's a nice bump. So if you want to put masking tape down and mask it for painting, it's really simple, no problems. I guess that's my critique. I know that the Hasegawa kits, the one that I built last year, the Messerschmitt, there was no bump, there was no edging, so masking was a pain. I had to use a light from an iPhone and put the light, turn the light on, and use the canopy on top and mask it. So that's the only way I see the demarcation between glass and the metal. So yeah, this the Monogram one's nice, no complaints, and it has a nice fit, so there should be no problem gluing onto the fuselage. So I'm pretty excited about that. Alright, I don't have a lot to say about this kit as far as what's going on. I think this model it invites a scratch builder. There's a lot of things you can do for scratch building if you want to try it out, if you've never done it, or if you're a seasoned scratch builder. There's plenty to do. So you can work on the cockpit, the radiator vent here. The reverse side is hollow, so if you want to kind of do some scratch building in there, that's awesome. I have worked on the horizontal stabilizers. The edges, I decided I didn't like the molding, so I just kind of took sandpaper and files and I filed them off, and then I just added my own using some picture references. And there's the reverse side. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So why don't we take a few pictures of where that's at right now. Okay, so we looked at that, and the only other scratch building piece that I want to do is to make this into a D5 that's recognizable. The one recognizable feature was the wing walk. If you ever look at Stukas, the wing walk usually have these black strips on both sides, and the D5s didn't have that. They had metal stripping. And what I did is I took the mold and I kind of sanded it off, made it flush. And now I'm just going to get some stripping material. I don't know what medium I'm going to use. I don't know if I want to use metal stripping, like aluminum stripping from a tin can or something, or go with styrene. If I go with actual metal, I have to use super glue, and I can see that just being a mess. All the glue is going to splatter. If I go with styrene, there's a good chance that it'll look a little bit cleaner. I don't know. So the next video I'll have an update on the wing walks. Alright. So that pretty much oh yeah, and I did scratch in the machine guns, the 20mm cannons, which was also a feature of the D5. So I used brass tubing right here, and that came out really well. I don't know, my method was very simple. I just drilled out a hole and I found some tubing that matched. There are actually two pieces. One's the actual gun barrel, and the other one is just kind of like a jacket, I guess, of some kind. And then I glued it in, made sure that they were relatively straight to the best of my knowledge, and I just glued it in with super glue, and whammo, they're in. The only thing is, you always once you put the brass stuff in, you just really it becomes a very fragile model kit. You don't want to drop it, because that stuff will always break off or something. So that came out well. Yeah. And I'm going to do the same for the rear machine gun mount. I'm just going to replace the barrels with some brass tube, and I think that'll look a little sharper. So that, lastly, all I got to really say is rescribing panel lines. That's really the big project of this build. This is my first time using panel rescribing, because it comes with the lines are raised. Not that that's a big deal. I think you can still make a bang up model with raised panel lines. I just like extra detail for my own personal taste, so I decided to do it, and I've never done it before, so give it a try. I would like to say thanks to a couple guys out there, because they've made a lot of videos and helping a lot of people in our community with panel lines. So I want to give a thanks to Chris and Alex Modeling, Nigel Wells, and Coen C. All three of them did make some tutorials of some kind. I know Chris and Alex Modeling did, and Nigel Wells certainly made one, and after his, he had some really great ideas. I don't know where he got them, but because I used the Dymo tape, and it's basically a mechanical labeling tape, and it's got that nice edging. But the problem is it's not really, you know, it's about like almost $20 here in the States to get it, and I have noticed that it is getting harder to find. When I go to the office supply stores, I think they're changing it. You can use this on computer now, so the tape's a little thinner, but might want to stock up on some of this. So the point I'm trying to make is what Nigel introduced to me was to use this resourcefully by, you know, cutting it lengthwise in half so that you increase your distance, and also to use masking tape when you apply it. So if you can go back to Nigel Wells' videos, he's got some demos. I don't remember what plane he was working on. I don't remember. But the point with the masking tape is that as you stick dymo tape with each pull, you're losing some of the residue for the stickiness. So if you put masking tape down first on the model and then place the tape, you're only wearing out the tape. And that's going to last a little bit longer, and so it gives you more dymo tape. So hopefully I can make this stretch. I have 2 other model kits that I know I will build someday, and they're going to need panel line rescribing. And one is the Monogram B26 Marauder, which was going to be my D-die build. I want to build that someday. And then I have the Monogram B17G that Coen C had built this winter, and this is stuck in here. So I think I still got 2 cartridges left. I think, I'm not sure, 1.5 maybe. So that should be enough. So yeah, big thanks, big 2 thumbs up for you guys. Also, if you just type up rescribing panel lines on YouTube, you're going to get a bunch of videos. I watched, when I first researched rescribing, I just typed rescribing panel lines, and you might get some old videos from model builders that are not really making videos anymore, but they do have some videos out there, and they're pretty good. I don't have any recommendations. I suppose what I can do is look for them and put them in my description section on this video. What I use to scribe, I just use a thumbtack, and it's been working. I guess I'm kind of going for a little bit of a deeper line. I don't know if you'll be able to see any of these lines at all. But I kind of just go for a little bit more of a deeper, not a trough, but or a trench, but a decent line. Because what happens is, like, it's inevitable when you're rescribing, you're going to slip and you're going to scratch the panel line. So my way around that was to just kind of make a deeper line, and then when I get all the lines done, I go back with sandpaper, smooth it out, and kind of rub out some of those scratches. So let's take a minute. I took some pictures, and what I did to highlight or accent my lines, after sanding, I left the dust in the lines, and it made a nice picture of where those lines are. So let's take a minute to look at those. Alright, yeah, those are some pretty cool lines. Don't be afraid, when I put the wash in, it's not going to be as thick and pronounced as it looks on that camera. The dust just makes it really thicker. When you blow out and wash out the dust, the lines are a lot thinner. So it should come out okay. The only thing is I left circles on any molding that was circles or had nice rivets. I just left alone, left them raised. I don't have any kind of like little fretboard with circles. I know Nigel Wells uses some sort of like drafting metal plate with circles and irregular lines. I may have to acquire one someday and use it. So I just left the circles raised, and what you do is just, if there's lines nearby, I just put masking tape over it and then scribe. Same thing with sanding. That way you preserve that line. Okay. well, there's not much else to say. I'm really surprised. Yeah. The kit does come with figures. Again, as closed cockpit, and the figures are a little, I guess they're probably the more negative part of the kit. They're just, yeah, they're very thin. They look emaciated, like they haven't been eating that good German bulky food. I like German food, by the way. It's very good all the time. If I can get it or cook it, I'll make some. It's excellent food. Anyway, there it is, and there it was. So this is my update for my Stuka Part 1, and just want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys sometime soon. Take care. Bye.